It's a little overlap. All right.
If you want some more when you leave, we have some extra copies here.
Yes.
Just a really
So
quick
we don't waste
question back to the previous point you made. So I understand that it's, you know, not right to ask if they have low overhead and that, but is it can you ask, I like the idea, ask if they're having a big impact, but can you ask the question of, you know, what percentage? I mean, if someone gives you $1, is 80% of this going to to support the employees and 20% is actually, can we ask those kind of questions?
We can actually calculate that out. I can give you the calculation for it, but you can ask them. It's a very easy 3-step calculation on their 990 form.
Okay.
So if you want that for yours, you can either have me calculate it, I can show you how to calculate it, or you can ask them. They should know right off the top of their heads, because I mean, we all have to fill it out when we do our combined federal campaign application. Like ours is at 10.5%.
Okay, so it's not like a taboo thing.
No.
You know, I don't want to
step over the bounds, but I'm just saying it would be nice to know when you're looking at how much money, how much is actually getting to the people they're servicing.
Sure. And it's not an illegitimate thing to consider. It's just that it's more nuanced than, oh my God, look at this percentage, right? It's important to consider more than just how much is going to each. I don't know how to say this. I don't know.
You did good.
It's nuanced, but you can ask. It's okay to ask. All right. So, financial capacity. This is the part where Brad Lancaster, bless him, is going to be and is currently reviewing everybody's financials to give some guidance on what you should be looking for, what you should be asking when you're looking at those documents. And, but if you have a keen interest in that, please go ahead and we do have some basic requirements for what those should look like. Would you like to speak a little bit to that?
Not really. If you do know, I mean, clean audits, that's a question. I mean, do you have a clean audit? If they have audit findings, what are the recommended, how are you going to fix that? That's part of our responsibility in this process, is making sure that the donor dollar is being used properly and that there isn't any mismanagement of the organization. We're vetting them. So being able to ask, you know, questions on their financials, basically the clean audit question, that's the biggest thing.
And
that
also,
financial malfeasance.
Right.
Yeah, so that's something that we added this year. We added financial malfeasance because we don't get audits take a long time. So it might be 2 years down the road before somebody gets caught doing something wrong with financials. So we are asking it up front this time. We're not going to rely just on the audit. We want them to tell us if something's going on, because it does take 2 years usually to have to find something else going on. Fiscal capacity, 3 to 6 months of reserves is a good thing. If they have over 2 years, well, then why are they asking for funding if they have 2 years of reserves? So those are just some things. I mean, it's good to have reserves, but you don't want it to be too high. So those are the kinds of things you're looking at on financials. And those are all listed in the application too. And is anything else?
I think that's it. Okay, I think that's it. All right. So,
I have a question.
yes.
Are they required to submit their audits or just tell you that, yes, they've had them and who's doing it?
Yes, they are. They're not required to. They are required if they're over a certain amount,
Okay.
but they are asked on the application this year, did you have a clean audit? Which we hadn't asked before. You would actually have to read their audit, so we just made it more upfront. And most of them have their audits online.
Okay. So if for some reason we wanted to see what that audit finding that they mentioned says, we can find it?
Yes, you can ask them for anything.
Okay.
Yes.
Yes.
That's part of this process. Yes, Steve.
And I think more on the audit thing, I think you'll find a few applicants probably don't do audits for budgeting reasons as well.
Yes, so audits are expensive. I mean, the one that I'm due for the state that I'm reading right now is $6,600 for them, and that's a lot of money for a nonprofit to spend. But they can do a financial, I can't remember what it's called. Is anyone in here an accountant? Yeah, there's an in-between audit stage where they can do a financial oversight report. So we do ask for that if they're in between. But an all-volunteer ran organization, if you're only running on $8,000, why would we ask for you to get a $6,000 audit? So yeah, we don't require it on all, and neither but just best practices over 100 to 250. 100 to 250 is the financial management one, over 250,000 is an audit. So that's kind of a requirement. And that's required by our worldwide organization, so we follow their fiscal management policies.
So the next part of the application is the really meaty part. This is the part where you get to learn what they're asking for, what they're going to do with the money, and how it fits into their overall scheme, but also the community's overall scheme. So you're going to learn how they see themselves in terms of meeting basic needs, health, income, and education.
Basic need.
Huh?
Basic need.
I did.
Oh gosh, I wasn't listening.
No, it's okay.
This is what Trina and I, we were here until 6:30 last night, and then here at 6:30 this morning, so I'm looking for
It's okay. So you remember this little piece of the visioning document and the PowerPoint? These are the areas of focus for United Ways, everywhere. And so we ask them, how does what you do fit into these areas of interest and concern? And how does what you want to do meet the needs of the community? Are there any other organizations that already do this? How much do you collaborate with organizations? And even though we are not yet in this new phase, right? We're moving towards this collective impact idea. We have been trying to encourage folks, agencies, to think about what they do in terms of collective good. So we ask about collaboration. Who do you collaborate with? And sometimes you're going to get a litany of, we do partner with these 28 organizations without a lot of elaboration. But what we're ultimately going for is something like, well, we noticed that we serve this client, this type of client, but we were really not serving this type of client well, but we know these folks do. And we looked at ways we could partner with these folks so that we can not only serve the people in this gap, but all our existing clients even better. And this is what we did, and this is how it's been effective, or how we're going to change it. Folks are not there yet, but this is what we're hoping to get to. So not only how do you serve folks collaboratively better, but are you actually addressing an urgent community need? That's another thing that it's perfectly okay to ask of these applications. Is this a need that is really urgent here in our community? Is this money going to be going to a project or program that is going to have some long-lasting benefits, or even address some root causes of our concerns in our community? Oh my gosh. So these are things to think about when you're reading this section. Okay. There's also a logic model that they submit, and it's basically, with this money, we expect to do this stuff in this amount of time. These are the results we think we're going to see. Okay, and I can't think of anybody who enjoys doing a logic model, but it's the way that we have currently to measure actual outcomes and impact. So
one of the things is you'll notice it with volunteer-driven organizations that they don't really know how to measure. They need to measure their volunteerism. That's a measurement right there. How much time are they spending? What are they doing? How are they doing volunteer trainings? A good one would be like the, I can't remember the names, the search dogs.
Oh, True North
search dogs. How many trainings are you doing with your dogs? How many people have you found over the last year that were lost? I mean, they're doing some pretty good work. They find a lot of people that have wandered off, that have autism and stuff. They're not just doing the diving cadaver dog thing. They're doing actual good work out there. But how much do they have to train? How many hours do they put in training those dogs is huge. It's a huge amount of time. So that's what they need to measure. So it's not just about this many people found. Yeah.
Okay.
Work?
Yeah. Okay. So with all of that, that's 25 points. Okay, that is your rational, objective panel participant. Okay, 25 points. And if you can do one of these for each organization, before you go to the interviews. That's great. You have a couple of weeks at least before you start doing interviews, because they go from the 1st of April to the 1st of May. All right, then you get to go to the interview and have your heart broken, or your mind inspired, or your soul stirred. It's going to rock. Which is why you're going to be objective beforehand. And this part is worth 10 points. And we have some specific questions that we would like you to ask. They're listed on this scoring sheet. And we will leave it up to your panel chairs to decide how each interview is run. So these folks will either decide, well, I'm going to ask every question, or they'll pass the questions around amongst you. But we ask that you do ask each question. And we're going to provide the list of questions to our agency partners before the interview so that they can be prepared. And so you get to assess their preparedness and ability to answer questions. One of the reasons we're doing this, is that what you were going to say?
Yeah, that in previous years, sometimes you'll get a line of clients that they've served, they'll pull on your heartstrings and you never get a chance to actually ask them a question. So we were going to give them a lot of guidance this year to be prepared, mostly for those ones that are all volunteer driven, because they do need, so they get about 10 minutes to explain what they do, and then the questions come on and then you guys can ask your own questions too.
But I think this also evens out the process so that every single organization that all of the panelists are vetting get to go through the same process, right? They get scored by the same metric.
Oh, and did we mention, so we do have a super reviewer, did we mention that?
Yeah, we do. We
Yeah,
have
somebody that's reviewing every single application, so they're comparing them all to each other, and that was new last year, and that process is continuing. And then we have Ann Wakeman that used to run Food Shares doing all of our donor choice and calling them and asking them the questions specifically too. And is there someone working with Ann? 2 people from Blue Cross Blue Shield?
no.
Oh, they're
They're
doing
doing the
super
super
review.
So this is not, this note right here isn't as urgent this year, I think, as compared to last year, because your panels are grouped into kind of alike organizations as far as capacity goes. So one panel has all coalitions that are volunteer run, and one has all volunteer run that are not coalitions. One has really big organizations, right? Like capacity. But it's still a good chance to see, okay, this organization has this amount of a budget and this is what they do with it. This is their reach and extent and the impact that they have. So that part of the application is worth 10 points, okay? Right, so I'm going to exit out of here for just a second and show you again this little duper. This is on the website. This is the piece of paper that you have in your hands. It's a fillable PDF. So hopefully everybody has the capacity to download and fill PDFs. However, if you don't and you don't have the ability to print stuff, let us know and we can help you out with that. So you can tally your points in these little boxes, you can put your notes, and one of the things that we ask for you to do is check out any one of these scoring pages. You'll note that there's room for listing strengths and then areas of improvement or recommended improvements. Those are actually comments that we provide to the organizations. So you're going to tally all of your information on this sheet, and your panel chair is either going to ask you to just provide that information after each interview. So boom, you're relieved of that particular part of your duty. Or your panel chair might ask that you meet after all of your interviews are done so that you can hash out details and ask questions. So that is another panel chair prerogative.
Whatever they feel. The panel chair, we allow them to do the process how they want to, whatever they feel most comfortable. If they just want to call people up on the phone, it's really guided by them on what they feel best about.
But they're very democratic, and so we'll take your needs into consideration, obviously.
Yes.
So, whatever you put here, they're going to compile into strengths and areas of improvement. And then we're going to, when we write our funding letters in June to tell the organizations what they have received for funding, we'll also provide them a list of comments. Hey, the panelists thought that you rocked this. You're amazing. Ba, 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 ba. However, here are some things that they would really like to see you address in the future. So, those are actually used. And so your thoughtful comments are very appreciated. And this is the way to compile them. Okay? And then, this may or may not be of use to you, but I'm showing it to you in case you want to use it. This Excel spreadsheet, which you can also download, will let you keep tabs on your collective scoring, right? So you can use this for yourself and say, put each agency in there and put the scores, and then, this is great because I can't actually see my screen on here, so this is how I'm navigating. The points will tally, and you can see, oh, this is how this organization fared in comparison to this other one that I was looking at. Your panel chairs will use this to compile your scores and get an ultimate percentage, and any comments that you have can also be put in there. If you do not want to use this, it's okay, but if you do, it's an easy way for your chair to cut and paste your information into a larger score sheet. So, I think, oh yeah, okay, so the last bit of information. So you all are going to be looking at 28 different organizations, 3 or 4 of them, right? And so we've got 28 applications. We've got, I think, about 45 panelists so far, 8 panel chairs. And this is how we'd kind of like the communication structure, not even kind, this is how we'd like the communication structure to go. Ultimately, on May 18th, the United Way Board is going to hear a presentation by the Tribunal, which is a self-chosen name, so that they could go, yeah. The Tribunal of 3 excellent volunteers who are going to listen to everything that your panel chairs have to say. So you all are going to be huddled up. Either you're going to have worked out which organizations you think are awesome and which ones you think needs an improvement. Maybe they don't need all the money that they've asked for, but these people definitely do. You've done your scrappy work in your panels. Your panel chairs are going to organize that information. They're going to go to a meeting together, and they are going to hash it out and do their scrappy work and fight for their organizations and decide how all of the organizations are going to be ordered for funding, okay? And then these folks are going to tell the board. So, for you all, if you need anything, if you have any questions, if you need supplies, if you have, especially supply stuff, let me know. I'm your staff. But if you have questions about the organization or you're needing more information, if you could go through your panel chair, because if you need it, probably other folks on your panel also need it.
And that reminds me, don't contact the nonprofit,
Right.
let your panelist contact them. So if there's something that you want, we just don't want the nonprofits to get overwhelmed with requests from community volunteers.
Right.
It's best if you just run it through your panel chair and then it comes from us, so.
Yes, that's the other thing. That
I forgot that.
already exhausted organizations appreciate you, but also would like to, you know.
And sometimes we might have the information, like if you want a Boy Scouts manual, we might have one from previous asks or
Right.
things like that. We might have it laying around our office.
Mm-hmm. So if you can funnel requests through this level, that would be awesome. And we have 10 minutes, 12. So are there any questions?
How do you organize these interviews and what time of day are they usually and
Do you want to answer?
Sure.
Well, last year we tried to organize people's times and get them, it drove Katie crazy. So
You'll
your
see that
panel
I'm
chair-
here instead of her.
But she still comes to our office like every other day.
It's-
She's there, so that's great. Yeah. So it's up to your panel chair to organize that. We've just left it into their hands this year. We do ask that, you know, if everyone can go, it's great. Try to get a majority if you don't want to end up in a meeting alone. Also, your panel chair will notify one of us, and we will let the tribunal know when the meetings are, so we can have at least one staff member and one of the tribunal at the meeting. So it's really up to your panel chair, because we don't need any more crazy, making our team crazy over here. We have enough going on.
Usually what we'll do is we'll have them in like an email, and then we'll send
Right.
out some dates, and then, you know, times and which one can most everybody be at.
Right.
And so it's not like, okay, today we are going here at 2:00, everybody be there. We, you know, usually just kind of get everybody's email and get it all in a group, and then say, okay, these are the dates, which one's best for everybody, and, yeah, and, yeah.
And
Excellent.
doodle poll, we should let our panel chairs know doodle poll
Write
is
that down.
great, because
That
that's
is
what I
really
use
mine
for
too.
everything.
Right, a doodle poll is a handy way
Sure.
to get organized, for sure. So the panel chair is going to contact the organizations, see when they're available, the times that are best for them, and then using that information, will contact you. And feel free, so today after this meeting, or probably a little later today, I'm going to send an email to everybody who's on a panel, so that you know each other and know what organizations you're gonna look at. You'll get the website, the password, and I will have posted, hopefully, everything like the TED Talk and all of the articles and stuff. If there is anything you want added, if there's information you want about whatever topic, let me know, and I will post it on the site so that you have access to it. Anything else?
I have a question about, so the 10 that are okay with the donor designated dollars, what if that's not enough for them then that year? I mean, do they, you know what I'm saying? Do they know already? No? You don't know already how much
They
have.
don't, in the future, they will. It was just, places like Family Promise, they feel like they have so much support of the community. It's a lot easier application. It takes them maybe 5 minutes to fill out instead of 20.
And it's been a consistent amount so that they're comfortable with it?
Right, we
That's
gave
not-
them the past 3 years of donor choice that they've received, so that they had some idea of how much they might be getting this year.
Okay.
It's
But-
pretty consistent,
Yeah, that's
usually.
good.
But-
And Salvation Army and CTI, they see that they just want to be a partner. They really don't need our funding. And a lot of agencies are starting to realize, well, we don't need it. As you move to a community impact model, we think we should use it better.
Don't need
And
it.
so a lot of them, yeah, they have enough capacity. They don't feel like they need it anymore.
Well, good.
And also, if you're a donor choice partner or a community fund partner, that makes you eligible for some other grants. So some either emergency funding or one-time funding. So being in the partner network, even if you take donor choice only, allows you to say, oh my gosh, a meteor came
Right.
through our gym roof and we need some help.
The
So-
Friendship Center, we did a our board granted $25,000 to them this fall because they lost a huge grant, and so they were able to, within a few days, get that money.
Right.
And the
So it's-
YWCA
it
the year
doesn't
before
limit.
had the same
Okay.
thing happen. They had an emergency within a week. We were able to approve them for some funding.
Right.
Okay, good, okay.
So, any other questions?
Yeah,
And just because they're donor choice this year does not mean they can't
right.
fill out whatever is next, right? Once you're in the partner network, the purpose of this is just go, oh yeah, this is a great organization, it runs itself well, here's a little bit of guidance, but it's a community process to say, yeah, these are good folks doing good stuff. And so once you're in, then you can keep being in, and you can be donor choice, or you can do community fund, or
Well, I would just point out that on all the years that I've been on a panel, every now and again, there is a partner agency that's gone downhill. And it's been this process that's discovered that they have some issues and they're really not, and so then the panel's reported back and the staff's done a little more investigation, and sometimes they've had to be dropped, sometimes they've put on a probation plan. So it's really, that always makes you feel really valuable because you've spared I guess, the community from donating money to a cause that's not working.
Yeah, and this year is the first year that actually staff is giving input because we work with them every day, and so we will provide the tribunal with our personal interactions with them. They're going to every coalition meeting, they're doing like all this great work. We will share that with the tribunal. We'll also share issues like they won't answer their phone. So, and that agency is no longer with us, so.
So, any other questions? We're going to have the video for this, which will probably include mostly my shoulder, online, as well as all the other stuff. Hopefully, by the end of the day, you will receive the email with your panels and all the other stuff that I promised you.
And as any nonprofit in the world will tell you that fires happen all the time and we're constantly pulled in different directions. So if she doesn't get it to you today, it's not because she doesn't care. Something
It's
happened.
true. I care so much that I don't sleep. Yes.
Thank you all
The
so
sign
much
up
for your
sheet, if you
time.
did not sign in, is back there on the lunch table. Please take food.
Yes.
Right in here.
I'm not hungry, but.
And thank you so much. You are the most important part of this process. Thank you. Thank you. Hi. I love that. Good, how are you? Hi, Steve.
Hi.
Just leave your stuff,
I want to see one screen at a time.
Yes.
I did. You did good.
I don't like it works on.
This morning I
Maybe
could
it's
not
video
work out.
card or something.
I think I have to get another key. It might be control. Maybe it is function. Maybe it is. Okay. Does that do this?
Maybe that's a Dell thing instead of two.
I did that earlier.
Hi, Kayleen. How are you? Good. I'm great. Thank you. Sorry. That's okay. That's okay. I'm glad you're here. And did you get the email with assignment of your panel?
Yes.
Excellent. Excellent. I'm going to turn this off by unplugging it, and then Allison and I are going to just chat with you.
Okay.
And I'm going to go print out the piece of information that's going to be most useful to you. So I'll be right. Please help yourself to whatever you need.
Strong interest in understanding nonprofit financials. I was wondering if I could meet with, yeah. You know what? I can get you. Please get Riley in contact with Brad Lancaster about
You're gonna
nonprofit
probably
financial.
meet me.
I'm gonna write that down.
Okay.
Brad and Riley connect. Yeah, thank you, because I'd love to learn how to understand them. Yeah, that would be, you know what, I should have them sit down with me. I mean, I understand enough to be dangerous, but I understand my own, but sometimes when I'm looking at others, I'm like, that doesn't make any sense. Yeah, mostly some like the family foundation stuff is really crazy.
Because like if you needed a right hand to help if I'd be comfortable, you know, if you could teach me, then I could probably.
We will get you in contact with him because no doubt he would just, he'd love that. He'd love to teach somebody.
Yeah, so great. And then also, you said to get with you if you wanted to learn how to do that calculation.
Yes, I will actually email that to you. Let me put that on this one. Email Riley. Yeah, it's a very easy calculation. Riley Calc. Calc. And I will actually have Trina post on the website.
Perfect.
Because yeah, it's really easy. It's like I could show you on if I have 990 here. But yeah, it's just like 2 pages, 2 spots. Or you have 3 numbers and you just add and divide. It's very
I'd love to
simple.
learn how to do that.
Okay, perfect, great.
Thank you
Teach
so
that.
much.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Hi, Kayleen. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. Nice to meet you.
Yes,
Thank you for being a panel chair.
Yes.
That's it. You know, it's really hard to find people. So I think you pretty much kind of got all the information. What do you have questions?
Trina went to get
Oh,
a paper, something for me. I don't really have any questions right now.
Basically, it's just
Brad
you
Lancaster.
organizing the meetings with the calling the nonprofits,
Thank you so
meetings,
much.
letting panels know, and then coming to us with compiled data.
So is there a meeting afterwards? Once I put down the meeting, there's a panel chair meet.
There is a panel chair meeting, so the panel chairs come with all their comments. We have a spreadsheet that we put up on the wall and we say, okay, who's supposed to get 100% of funding
Okay.
and who doesn't think they should, and then
Thank you,
we
Jen.
fight over a
Thank
little
you,
pot
thank you,
that's left
thank you.
over. Our funding is down this year. I mean, is it?
And you must be Zach.
We're lucky.
Yes.
We're only
Hi,
at
Zach.
90,000.
I'm Trina.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Yeah,
It's
sorry I
just
was late.
applicable.
Riley is
Everyone's
very
going to ACLU
persuasive.
And
Yeah.
non-union services, and we just, yeah,